Rebecca Ketcher-Nugent was one of many survivors of the infamous Trail of Tears from the southeastern United States to present-day Oklahoma. Today, the Trail of Tears Association preserves stories like hers, stories of Cherokees who survived the long, forced journey into Indian Territory.
We want to thank everyone for coming today. This is a great occasion. This is the 157th marking and honoring ceremony of the Trail of Tears survivors.
The Oklahoma chapter decided what they would do is find the graves of people who had come on the Trail of Tears and put a plaque on those in remembrance of those individuals, and then also bring the families of those individuals to the site.
We wanted to bring the families of those people who came on the Trail of Tears together. As you see, the Nugent family has come together.
So that they'd be aware that the Trail of Tears happened to their family. It wasn't an event back in history that we talk about, but it actually had an impact on our families.
Rebecca traveled with her family on the trail and would have arrived in present-day Oklahoma in March 1839 as a young girl. After enduring so much, this plaque on Nugent's gravestone honors her survival and strength as she and her family were forced into a new life. The Trail of Tears was a defining point in the history of Cherokee Nation. However, the end of the Trail of Tears is a less understood aspect of this historic event. Approximately 16 separate detachments left on the Trail of Tears from the southeastern United States between 1838 and 1839.
3 detachments were under the federal government, and the soldiers were escorting and forcing them to the west. Then the 12 detachments plus the water detachment under Ross.
A common misconception is that there was one stopping point for the Trail of Tears in Indian Territory. In reality, there were several endpoints for the trail. They were called disbandment depots. They were also known as subsistence depots, dispersal camps, or ration depots. These sites provided an endpoint for the Cherokees arriving in Indian Territory. There were 5 known disbandment depots throughout present-day Oklahoma. Principal disbandment depots included Mrs. Weber's Plantation, New Fort Wayne, also known as Beatty's Prairie, and the Bushy Head site. Lesser-known sites include McCoy's in Park Hill and Lee's Creek. The disbandment depots provided the surviving Cherokees with rations and other supplies before they settled throughout Indian Territory. Bushy Head, or Woodalls as it was also known, was a disbandment depot located just outside present-day Westville, Oklahoma, near the state line of Arkansas. Today, the Old Baptist Mission Church stands on the site where many Cherokees began their new lives. Its congregation began in 1830 before coming to Indian Territory on the Trail of Tears. The church that stands today was built in 1888 and continues to hold services, likely making it the oldest congregation in Oklahoma that is still meeting. Mrs. Weber's Plantation was also a principal disbandment depot located near present-day Stillwell, Oklahoma. Signs located within Stillwell Cemetery tell of the depot that brought in roughly 2,800 Cherokees at the end of their long journey. Another principal disbandment depot, New Fort Wayne, also known as Beatty's Prairie, was located just inside the Oklahoma state line near Maysville, Arkansas. It was here that approximately 4,900 displaced Cherokees made their way into Indian Territory. Little is left of the fort today and its important place in Cherokee history. Even less is known about 2 additional disbandment depots, McCoy's, near Park Hill and Lee's Creek, Oklahoma. The disbandment depots were not without issue. An 1842 report to the United States Congress supplied by Lieutenant Colonel Hitchcock outlined frauds committed at the disbandment depots, fraud concerning ration tickets, and complaints detailing the poor quality of corn and beef provided to Cherokee survivors.
There hasn't been a lot written, and actually there aren't a lot of documents that talk about the depots other than the Hitchcock report.
The Cherokee Nation persevered through their removal years and the adverse conditions they faced upon arriving in Indian Territory.
We come from good stock that made the trail and did not give up. They came together to reform our government and to continue us as a people forever.
The end of the Trail of Tears solidified the legacy and strengthened survival the spirit of the Cherokee Nation and its citizens embody today.